Welcome to Let's Play Battlefield 1942. On today's episode we have Operation Battleaxe. This is a Germans versus the British, mostly infantry and tank battle in the desert. This map has an uncapturable base for both sides, and in the middle there's a bowl-shaped valley with 6 flags, all very close together arranged in a circle. And we've been assigned to the Germans. The northernmost and southernmost capturable flags on this map spawn 2 tanks each. The other flags don't spawn any vehicles. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is attack the British southernmost flag there, and they won't be able to spawn any tanks down here, and we'll be able to take their 2 tanks which would normally spawn there. Each uncapturable base also spawns 1 heavy tank. If we take this flag, then we get to have their 2 tanks once they get destroyed and respawn, of course. On the other hand, you can see that this flag is very close to the British uncapturable base. So even if we take this flag, they can probably take it right back unless they get preoccupied or we somehow manage to do a good defense here. We now control 4 flags. So there's ticket bleed on the other side. Although in theory we could defend in this position, it's Battlefield 1942 and people very rarely defend flags. Plus, if you manage to capture all of the flags, you're in a very good position to camp the other team within their main base. Even though there's 6 flags, one side capturing all of the flags happens surprisingly often. And there we've got both of the tanks that spawn in the southern point. Another thing that frequently happens is it looks like it's going to happen here. If one team manages to steal the other side's tank spawning flag, the other team will do the exact same thing right back. Most of the time on this map, if neither side manages to capture all of the flags will remain fairly evenly split. It may be 4-2, but that's not really a big deal even though there's ticket bleed. And it becomes a merry-go-round. People just endlessly go on the offense, either going counterclockwise or clockwise and just capturing the flags endlessly. If you're looking for a map where people have high scores due to flag captures, this is definitely one of them. Just a second ago, someone who got bombed by me there when I shot the tank cannon into the bunker, he flew upward through the ceiling and landed on top of the bunker. There's a weird glitch on this game. Sometimes that happens if someone doesn't instantly die from the tank's cannon, and you can easily machine gun them down on top of the bunker because they won't have much energy left. When you're trying to capture a flag with a tank, you have the option of either going straight for it, going into the capture radius and trying to take it that way, neutralizing it, or you can lay back for a while and base camp it, killing people as they spawn, and then once people have been persuaded not to respawn there, you can go in and take it. And that's a particularly good strategy to use if you don't have any infantry coming alongside you to help you to neutralize the flag. I don't believe there are any flags on this map where people can spawn outside of the bunkers. So there's a lot of good opportunities for base camping here. You may notice that a lot of these flags have mounted machine guns, but they're almost never used by people, or they're used very infrequently, and the reason for that is that all of the enemy snipers are looking for stationary targets. Since people are running around in circles capturing flags, and only stationary targets they can find are people mounting those machine guns. So it's an effective deterrence. People know not to go on those machine guns or else they're going to get sniped. And I've just been team switched. I think the rule on this server is the highest scoring person on the team with too many people on it gets switched. It appears the merry-go-round has made a full turn here because once again the Germans have the northern flags and the British have the southern flags. Looking at the tickets, it seems that the Germans have a slight advantage though. It can be pretty awkward trying to move your tank around on this map, especially if you try to cut through the middle. There's so many rocks and trenches and obstacles in your way. If either side has really good pilots on their team, they can knock out tanks just left and right. Another thing that we're not seeing too much this time around is the effective artillery. Each main base, the uncapturable base for each side, spawns one artillery piece. And if there's a good artillery person on either side, they can make life a living hell for the infantry. And that's what I was talking about with those planes, because there's so much flag capturing going on and trying to get past obstacles. The tanks stay relatively still, or they move about pretty slowly, so they make good targets for the airplanes. The Germans are now down to one flag, and no one gives up on this. No one does defense. They want to cap them all out and do base camping. Stay tuned for part 2.